Hello and welcome to Access Paranormal. My name's Jamie Williams. Joining me in the studio tonight, we've got my co-host Jonathan Sullivan.
Hi, Jamie.
And again, our good friend Lee Arnold. Twice in 2 weeks you've been on the show, Lee.
Yeah, hi.
But it's good to have you back again. We're always made up when we see you. Well, after last week's show, we're back in the studio this week.
I know.
And we've also got an interview.
Yeah.
Tell them all about it then, Jonathan.
It's with Haunted Homes. It was Dave Littler and Brian Baker.
How did you remember that?
Because I'm good.
It's because it's pre-recorded and you probably looked at it.
I heard it before.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, and they were brilliant. Really
they were good,
enjoyed
weren't
having
they?
them in. Yeah.
Yeah, really
So
nice.
wait till you listen to them. They're very good interview and a really good mini invest we done with them.
Yeah.
Which we're trying to do with a few of the groups because it's good fun.
It is, yeah.
And we've got, let's talk quickly about last week's show when we done we done it all in binaural in 3D.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It sounded good as well.
That's it.
It was good.
Do you know what? I felt as I was ever in the room with them all.
I know. Yeah.
It was good. I hope the listeners enjoyed it out there because it was great putting it together. And not only that, we went live.
Yeah, it was on Facebook Live, didn't we?
It was an experiment, wasn't it, to see how it went
Yeah.
and to see how it came across. And we really enjoyed it. And we've said that we were now going to do more lives.
Yeah. Yeah, it went well.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, so I'd like to thank the person who called.
And all those listeners I had to pay for.
Yeah. You only paid one because I was only one. No, it was good. We done the Access Paranormal live.
Yeah.
And after that we turned around and said we're going to do it more. Hopefully when there's groups in as well, if we go live with the groups in, we can say hello to the people who are listening or wherever, and then switch off, pre-record the show, and away we go.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's good. Bit more interaction, isn't it?
It is, and we'll be doing a lot more 3D stuff as well on the show because it's really enjoyable to do. Yeah. And I don't know what your listeners think, but it sounds so much better because you feel as if you're part of it.
You do, don't you? Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
Definitely.
So, let's change the subject, eh?
Hello.
Hi, Lee.
Hi, Lee.
Have you watched any YouTube? No. Back to the same old Lee.
I know,
yeah. But you know what? Hey ho.
Yeah. It's one of them, innit?
Oh God, yeah.
So, Jamie.
Yeah.
You watched any YouTube this week?
I have.
What have you watched?
Same as last week. I actually repeated it. I was talking to
Did you watch the same one again?
I did, yeah. Because what I've done is
And it fell off my chair.
No, I did. I watched it again. It was the Mind CTV one. I flick it through sometimes. I watch them twice.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I'm not interested in it, I won't watch it again. They done one uncut. I talked about it last week, so I'm not going to talk about it again because I don't want to bore people.
Say nothing.
Yeah. No, it's a good one, and it's good. Listen, let's talk about something else. We turned this away from Lee to me, and it bounced off you as well on the way.
Yeah. I'll sticking up for him.
Yeah. What I'm looking forward to, though, Jonathan and Lee, is our get together.
That'd be good.
On the 20th, Friday the 20th, we're here for an investigation.
Yeah, it'll be good, that.
It's not a public one or anything like that.
Yeah.
Be nice to see everybody again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's been so long.
Sorry?
It's been so long.
It has. I mean, it's been very difficult with this lockdown stuff and whether we can do this, whether we can do that. Nobody knew where we were. We wondered what we were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, government. But anyway, we're back. We're going to be starting to do investigations outside the building.
I know.
And I can't wait for that.
I know. Be good.
Yeah. We've got one set up.
Yeah.
We're also on the what day is it? On the 21st.
Yeah, the 21st.
So we got the ghost hunt on the 21st, on the 20th.
Yeah.
Then on the 21st, we're heading up to Stoke-on-Trent, or down to Stoke-on-Trent, wherever it's situated. And we're going to meet up, Lee, with the ghost hunters of Stoke-on-Trent, who've opened an absolutely amazing haunted museum.
I know where it is.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Loads of times.
Or Stoke-on-Trent?
Yeah. It's only 5 minutes up the road from where I live.
From where you lived, or
We used to live.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So they've invited us to go along and do a recording of in the place.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Lee then, he's gone and got his bottle of drink out.
No, it looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It does look good.
And I mean, we interviewed them, didn't we? And they were great.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
loving all
really
the
nice.
interviews, loving to meet all these people. It's amazing.
Brilliant.
And like we said it last week, we're going to say it this week, we've reformatting the show as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know this week it hasn't been reformatted because we've still got interviews we've got to put on, but you will start to see changes within the show. You've already started the changes because the transitions and everything, the intro at the beginning and the one at the end are completely different as well, aren't they now?
Yeah, they sound really good, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
They were on last week's. We put them on last week's show.
We did, yeah.
And they were great. Blended really well.
Yeah, I really like them.
Yeah, I did. Well done to James Anthony for doing that for us because it was really good. And we're getting noises outside the building. What we've done before we go across to the interview with Haunted Homes is we've put a cat ball outside on top of a Ouija board after an effect that I had a couple of weeks ago. So we thought we'd try an experiment, but we're getting noises, quite a few noises outside, and it's Lee's picking it up, aren't you? You're in, so anyway.
Closest to the door.
Yeah, well, if anything happens, I'll be through the door. Don't matter about that.
How we through the window?
But it's been great to see the groups back in Mill Street Barracks. It's been great to see the groups out and about doing live stuff and everything else, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
It's nice to see normality now coming back after the lockdown was eased.
It is. It's starting to just seep back in now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting there now.
And it's what we want, isn't it? We want to see people.
Yeah.
We're not made to be secluded on our own and not see anyone.
No, definitely not.
If we were meant to do that, we wouldn't be having any lips, would we? Or a mouth.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I know.
Anyway, in a moment we're going to go across to Haunted Homes. But first of all, if anybody else has got any ghost stories or want to get in touch with us, or even want to join on the show and have a little chat, please do so. Jonathan's going to read out how you can get in touch with us now, aren't you, Jonathan?
Yeah, so you can send us an email on info.accessparanormal@gmail.com, or you can send a message on Facebook or Instagram on Access Paranormal Radio Podcast.
Or you can contact us on the phone number. Do you know what, Lee? You can read it.
Yeah, the phone number is 07828 201056.
And I hope you've written that down, because what we want you to do is we want you to ring us, give us your stories, let us know if you want to come on the show to do an interview. We'd love to have you on. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in America, Australia, anywhere in the world. Come and join us and give us let's have a nice chat. Anyway, on that note, we're going to go across to the interview we did with Haunted Homes. We hope you enjoy it as much as we did. This is how it went. Joining us in the studio tonight, we've got Brian Baker and Dave Littler, both from Haunted Homes UK. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Cheers.
You're welcome. Now, the reason why you're here is because you're on a little bit of a mini invest tonight, and I decided to grab the both of you, didn't I, and say, come and do an interview.
Yeah, indeed. We're here to investigate the building and hopefully get some good evidence.
Yeah, we've brought plenty of equipment, a lot of thermal equipment, a lot of static cameras, so we're looking to pick up some good evidence for SART and also for you guys to justify that yes, this place is haunted, and not just we want to make contact with them. We want to know why they're here. They all have a story. They're here for a reason, aren't they? It's not just, yes, we've picked up on a ghost, let's pack up and go. Why are you here? Can anybody help you? Have you got any messages for anyone, you know, family members, loved ones? So it's, yeah, we enjoy it.
Yeah. And Dave Little, you've been here before?
Yeah, I've been here 4 or 5 times before. I've been here as a guest on an event. And then I've also been here with an events group helping out run their event, their public event. So yeah, I've been here. I think this is my 5th time in the building now.
Wow.
Each time has always
surprises.
Always surprises and different each time. I don't think there's ever been a time where nothing's happened.
No, it's very rare nothing happens, you know what I mean? And Brian, you've never been here before, have you? You were saying a bit earlier.
My first visit. I'm really excited about it. Can't wait. Yeah, looking forward to it. Just want to get going, pick up some activity, and hopefully we're going to have a good night, aren't we?
Yeah.
And just so people know, you are at Mill Street Barracks here in St Helens.
We are,
yes. Indeed.
So they're probably saying, well, where are they?
Where are they?
Yeah, Mill Street Barracks.
Yeah. So Haunted Homes itself has been going now for 1.5 years.
Yeah.
So how did Haunted Homes come about? I do love the logo you've got there. It looks brilliant.
Thank you.
So how did Haunted Homes come about?
Well, I worked for other teams, probably for about 6 or 7 years, and then decided that I wanted to do my own stuff. I wanted to do private homes, not just paid locations, help families out. There's a lot of good mediums out there. There's help out there for families, and it's Haunted Homes is somewhere where they can get in contact and we can come and help you. The service we provide is free. I don't charge anything. That's transport, equipment, my time, my money, my team's time. You know, we're all here because we love it, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. We're not in
it's passion.
We're not in it for any financial gain.
No.
It's more of a personal thing. The way that I view it.
That's the way to do it, in my opinion as well. And Jonathan's
definitely. It's more of a hobby, isn't it?
Yeah. And we've been doing it 11 years. Arguably's been going, and it's like, you know, it's still a passion now than what it was the day we started. And Haunted Homes itself, how many in your team?
There's 5 of us. Dave's our newest member, so I mean I've worked with Dave for best part of 8 months. And Dave's a great investigator, and then I have Lee. I have another bloke called Dave who does a lot of urban exploring for me, and then we have Amy. Amy's our trainee medium. She's a lovely lass, but she seems to be surrounded by paranormal activity, so it's just training her up how to handle it. So she's going to be an amazing medium in time, but she just needs a bit of time, a bit of love and a bit of care, and she's in the right team for that. So we're a good team, aren't we?
Yeah.
You know?
That's what it's about, isn't it? Getting on and on. Now, there's only 5 years in the team.
Yeah.
So do you do more private than what you do public, or do you do public as much as you do private ones?
We do more private up until, obviously, coronavirus pandemic, and then everything stopped. We are going to be doing a few public events, aren't we? But for us, it's more about finding good evidence in it. We want some good evidence.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure that everybody else that's got just as much passion and they're in it for the right things are also looking for that that golden. The golden result is finding it, and
it's dead hard to find, isn't it? We get a lot of enjoyment. Just I mean, I always think to myself, if we got that golden moment that proves, well, we all know that there's paranormal stuff out there. If we got that one, what was the pinnacle of it all? What would we do after that?
I know.
I think we'd still do it, to be honest with you.
Still do it, won't we?
Of course we would.
Because once you get that, you want more.
I think that'd be the only thing, you would want more.
But I think the exciting thing is every night can be different. You go somewhere and you've no idea, have you, what you're going to come into. Some nights you go home, you feel like, there weren't much there. Another nights you just think, did that really happen? That was unbelievable. Such an amazing place.
I find it quite fascinating sometimes that you have various bits of equipment, and you could go months and months, and certain pieces of your equipment don't, they're not activated at all. But then you could go to your next location, and that could be your most active piece of equipment. So it just shows that, as far as I'm concerned, each spirit or each ghost, as some people would call them, they have their own way of interacting. There's no rule of thumb that one piece of equipment all paranormal activity. So,
well, me and Jonathan, when we're here, because we do the show from here, we have that door open. We're sitting in here. We usually have the big lights up, but it's on. It's on tonight for you. And we put a cat ball out there, and it's been many a time, hasn't it?
Oh yeah,
that it's gone off while we've been sitting doing a show. And we love the cat ball because one, you're not touching it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So if it goes off, it's unusual. Talking about equipment, and you brought that up, Dave. What's your favourite piece of equipment you've got within the team that you enjoy using?
I've always been very, very interested in the PBS 7 Spirit Box.
Oh right, yeah.
Brian and his team have got sort of the upgraded version of that, hasn't it, Brian?
Yeah, PSB 11.
PSB 11, which does a little bit more than just scanning radio frequencies. It's got the temperature. It's got a built-in EMF as well, hasn't it, Brian? Yeah. And that was really good. We did recently an investigation in East Drive in Pontefract.
Oh, 30, yeah.
And that was quite active down there, wasn't it?
Picked up some great evidence.
Picked up some really good stuff, yeah.
Is it as active? Because I hear of a lot of people who go to 30 East Drive. I've yet to be there. Go there. We've never been there, have we, Jonathan?
Wait to get there.
On its night, it's a phenomenal place. I will say, if there's a load of you going, you're not going to get out. You need to go in a small group where you all know each other, you're comfortable, you're used to working with each other, and you work to each other's strengths, and then you will pick up some
definitely.
good activity.
I've been to 30 East Drive 3 times now. I've been twice with larger groups, and the third time was a few weeks ago with Brian and Lee out of Haunted Homes team. I found being in a smaller group, it being far more controlled. You're able to work together better. When I'd done it the 2 previous times, it was uncontrolled. You had people running around. Some people were trying to scare people, and it was just dropping the atmosphere, and it wasn't great. I think potentially, if you've got the right group of people, then it can be great. But for me, it's having the right approach and patience as well, because you've got people, because of the whole aura around 30 East Drive, especially in the paranormal world. It's the pinnacle of locations really in the UK. So people they're going in there with an expectance that as soon as they walk through the door, doors are going to start flying open and plates
doesn't happen
flying.
like that.
And it's just not like that.
It's never like that.
If it was like that, it'd cost you $5,000 to hire the place a night, wouldn't it?
It's like here in Mill Street. We were talking about it before. Activity in here is fantastic, but we've been in here and there's been nothing. And then I think because of the COVID, you mentioned before about the COVID, we've mentioned this before as well, is we've been privileged enough to be in here right through COVID, and the activity has been phenomenal.
It's been
really
as well.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because of all the despair that's going on in the world? Do you think it's ramping up, or do you think it's because this place is just quieter than it would be?
Whose interviews this?
I think.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
I think because there's been no groups coming in.
Yeah.
We've found that in the past as well, though, haven't we? When we have like a meeting with our own group, and there's been no one in over the weekend, we'll have like a little meeting and then a little mini ghost hunt during the week.
Yeah.
That's when we've had our most activity.
It is,
and especially with the fewer people, the better.
Yeah.
And that's what you were saying about East Drive just then, about the less people, the better. I think what it is when there's like, say, 4 of you, 5 of you, you can concentrate more. If there's 20, 30 of you, you've not just got to try and concentrate on that, but you've got to try and look after everybody as well, and make sure that they're happy. So your concentration on basically looking for paranormal at night is out the window, because you're trying to give them the experience what you've already had, and it's
exactly.
That's difference in public and private ones.
And then you contaminate each other's evidence as well,
Mm.
don't you? So you don't get valid evidence in big groups.
No.
Unfortunately.
No.
Now, I'm going to go back to a question I asked Dave before. I'm going to ask you as well now, Brian, is you were talking about the equipment. We know what Dave's is now. Is yours the same, or have you got like your own little...
My Zoom H6 is probably one of my favourites.
Are you use a Zoom, do you?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, we've got the Tascams.
Yeah, you can hear a pin drop, can't you? Other side
Yeah.
of the house.
That's brilliant.
I like a Fleur. I've got a Fleur E4, which has had an upgrade to an E8. I've had some really good spirit catchers on that.
Is that the
It's the thermal.
the
They are
thermal?
thermal
Yeah,
imaging,
the great, aren't they?
Oh, amazing. So I'd say probably, and the PSB11, my main bits of equipment. I mean, we have a lot, though.
I've had some good stuff come through on the Ovilus though as well.
Yeah, I have an Ovilus as well.
Yeah.
I'm
Do you-
like that with an Ovilus.
Oh yeah,
It's,
I think it's
Preloaders, isn't
Yeah,
it?
just don't listen to our previous shows.
Yeah.
it
I'm
can
not
be
a
hit
fan.
and miss. I think. I
Yeah.
think
I like
if-
Spirit Box, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like anything Ovilus.
Mm.
I know
Yeah.
where you're coming from with that, because it is preloaded and
It is. I think it's like Google using the analytics and does it listen to what you've been talking about? And
Yeah,
come up with
completely get it.
words
Completely get
associated?
it.
Well, we know a PSB11 Spirit can speak through the white noise, so
Yeah.
we know that you know if you're getting stuff like that, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Thermal leak device I also use as well, which we get some good results if you can control the environmental conditions in a room. Maybe run it alongside with a different device which tells you the temperature in the room, and how it works is it starts on green, the temperature. We ask Spirit to walk into the light, to ask a question, walk back out, and it just changes the temperature within the beam.
If something breaks
Yeah,
the
right,
beam, the light goes from one colour to, if it was a cold temperature, it would change it to blue.
Mm.
If it was
Yeah.
a warm temperature, it changes it to red. And then when it does change it to those colours, and we ask it to move back out, in response, it does.
And it goes
Oh,
back to
right,
green.
okay, yeah.
So that's a
Oh,
really good
I'd like
bit
to
of
see
equipment.
that,
Yeah, it's a really good
sounds
bit of
interesting.
equipment.
Because we do know Spirit can manipulate the temperature in a room. So if
Yeah.
it's cold,
Yeah.
we will say we won't accept blues, we want reds. So we need you to heat the beam up, and they'll come in. Is that Joe? And they'll walk in, they'll heat the beam up, go red, yes, and walk back out. And we get quite a lot of information off them.
Right.
It's a good way to get going into it.
Yeah,
And get
yeah,
started
really good,
with.
really good.
And yeah, I mean, I know you're here tonight. Have you got a lot of equipment tonight? Because
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
me
we
and
have.
the likes of me and Jonathan Nogley, we don't use loads of equipment. We
Yeah.
tend to use our own sensors, and like I said before,
Yeah.
the capo.
Mm.
What I haven't heard you mention though is it whether you use K2s or anything like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Oh,
We've got
yeah.
K2, EDI, EMFs, cat balls, static cameras,
REM pods.
REM pods.
Yeah.
Just because we've
yeah.
got all that equipment doesn't necessarily that we go all Ghostbuster and stick
Yeah.
it all over.
Yeah,
It's just at least if we've got that and we feel that we're not getting much response with some of the equipment,
Mm.
we've got the other equipment to fall back on and
Yeah,
see
you
what
can
results
switch
we
it
can get.
around a bit, can't
Yeah,
you?
I mean, I'm quite a big fan of not overdoing it with the equipment.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can go overload.
You
It's,
can.
it's nice to be able to have the equipment in reserve if you want it. Well, I'll tell you what, we're not really getting much on the EDI. Let's try let's try the thermal. It's nice to have the options.
You probably think as well, the same as me, is different equipment for different ages.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you've got cat balls with coloured lights on it, children,
Yeah.
dolls, children. I mean, the dolls at the moment is everywhere. You know, everyone's using dolls now, which is great because obviously there's children about. And then you try and think of things for adults. And what we're doing is we're all using the same things.
Yeah.
I mean, we were given a carousel at the end of the unit over there.
Yeah.
Sorry for the people who I'm pointing. I'm sorry you can't see it.
Just in the end,
Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. You can't see it. Sorry. It's like a carousel, but it's a REM pod,
Yeah.
and if they go near it, obviously, because it's
Yeah.
like an interest for the kids. And we've thought about using. I don't know whether they're thinking about using them as old toys from years gone
Definitely.
by.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because I always think, I don't know whether you think is the equipment we use now is quite modern, and we're trying to talk to people from
From the past. That
the
maybe
past,
haven't
yeah.
found. Yeah.
Exactly. And it goes back to, I mean, I particularly don't really get involved in the Ouija board, but in the past when I've been on events and people have tried to contact spirits of children, I mean, even they've tried to contact spirits of adults. Can you spell your name out? Can you give us and you could be contacting a spirit that couldn't spell.
Okay.
So you've got to
Yeah.
adapt and try and think of another way in which they can communicate with you.
Yeah.
But yes, certainly with older, equipment and toys and stuff, then it's got to bring on more. If you've got a toy from the era of spirits from that era, then
exactly. And I found as well, the progress of equipment is changing all the time.
Yeah.
And the one what's always in, you just mentioned it, is the Ouija board. We were talking about this in the previous show about how equipment's changing so much in advance and everything else. But the Ouija board has come from like the 1800s, right? And it's still being used today by us all. But other equipment's come and go.
Yeah.
And the cat balls at the moment are the big ones, because recently they've only just come out in the shops, haven't you? And you think that'd be useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times you go in the shop now and you go, that might work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We're all for trying out new experiments as well.
Yeah.
We use telephones. We have a telephone experiment where we'll go upstairs, we'll put a phone in a room, we'll ring it from downstairs, we'll talk to it.
Put both mobile phones on speaker, so then we'll speak into the phone where we are and have it on speaker in the other room, so that in the hope that we can get a communication through.
It's like modern day EVP.
Yeah.
Because we were telling you before we came live, live on there on here, that we've had voices coming over our headphones just as we're talking now. I mean, I thought he had one before, but I know it was you going. So, because when I looked, I thought, oh, and as a 10, I seen him, so I was all right on that one. But the whole area in here, this is haunted as well. What we should have done was we should have put a cat ball in here while we were talking, because we found that when we've done interviews before, we put the cat ball over there where you've got your gimbal and that, and we've just been sitting here talking like we're talking to you.
It goes off,
boom, it's gone off. We've had them going off over there as well.
Do you have a particular area within Mill Street Barracks of the more active areas, or could it just be on the day?
It varies, doesn't it, Jonathan? It does vary.
It does. I mean,
is there somewhere you wouldn't go alone?
Do you know? I know why you're asking that, don't I? Where did you see that?
I told Brian about that. When I give him a little tour earlier, and I said, and you'll find that Jamie will stand at that door and won't go any further.
He had to go in a few weeks.
To be honest with you, I've been in twice.
And
just for your listeners, there's a room here in Mill Street Barracks. If you go into the cellar, the far end of the cellar, which is, you go down the stairs there, the stairs are there. So it's this end, isn't it?
Far right.
Yeah, it's over here. It's in Mill Street.
Opposite the fire and range entrance.
We're actually not far from it, sitting up here, are we? And I don't like that room, but we went in with a couple. The group came in and they've done a private one. They come in and said, "We've had nails thrown at us. We've had this," and we thought, "We've never had that before." So, okay, let's go down. Let's have a go. So I stood at the door for a bit, didn't I? And somebody turned around and he went,
admit them.
Yeah, he went.
Brave.
But somebody turned around and he said to me, "Some shadows just gone right next to you, didn't it?" And it's come right up to you.
I see it on the wall as well.
And I went, "I'm coming in." So I went in then, didn't I?
Yeah.
But I sat as close to the door as I possibly could. And they were calling out and everything else. The next minute, a couple of nails came through, flying at me.
But one dropped on
down,
his right hand
next
side,
to me.
which is closest to the door.
Yeah.
So that's one of the
That
areas.
was the opposite side to where everyone else was sitting.
Yeah.
It's one of the areas tonight we're thinking about putting a locked off camera in there.
I thought you were going to say lock somebody in there.
Well,
no.
It did get mentioned.
Only for a fee. Not a chance. I mean, I'll come down and watches and that. I mean, if anything happens, then I might not be there.
My least favourite area, which I think is the worst room, if you call it a room, is that little foyer outside the toilets.
Oh, right.
even in the daytime.
Yeah.
I won't go to the toilet on my own.
We
Is
got
that the main entrance as you go?
Yeah, but as you come
Yeah.
in the main entrance and then go through that other little door where the toilets are,
oh yeah.
and that little foyer bit, I don't know what it is.
We both picked up on a sort of funny feeling in the small bedroom upstairs, didn't we?
Like
know, the
some-
Which, at the
Of
very
all-
top one.
Of all
Yeah.
the bedrooms, the smallest one right at the very top.
yeah, like something
I
bad.
even, do you know, it's been a thing with the bedrooms. I don't know. We used to, when we had investigations over the years, we used to use the bedrooms quite a lot.
Mm.
But I'd say the past 4 or 5 years, they don't really get used that much.
The dormitories.
Yeah.
No, they've been pretty quiet.
They've
But
been quiet,
yeah.
but we did have one in the first bedroom at the top of them stairs. The first one as you go up.
Yeah.
We've
the,
had quite a lot of activity in there with cat balls.
yeah, we actually
Full
recorded,
conversation
yeah.
for 15
Yeah.
minutes.
and we actually recorded it as well. Where
Yeah.
I was asking a question, just go,
Mm.
Yeah.
stop.
And we actually got a
Oh.
voice as well.
Yes, we did. We've actually got them audios, haven't we?
Yeah, on EVP we got a voice.
So where would you suggest putting motion sensor cameras, locking them off for the evening to have a good chance of
Where
picking up
would we
activity?
put motion sensor
Ooh.
cameras?
I
Um,
will definitely have one in the main
Main-
hall, pointing at the room that's below us.
Yeah, we'll take you down in a bit and
Show
show
you.
you.
But we've
Yeah.
had over
Been
the last
very
few
active,
months,
hasn't it?
it's been very active with the cat ball in that room,
Mm.
but
Mhm.
also noises in that room when you're in the cellar.
Footsteps, actual footsteps. We've actually
footsteps.
we've been down in the cellar, and right above us you can actually hear.
Yeah,
Mm. Well,
Walking round
the
that's
room.
answered the question.
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
And we had
room down there.
we had a team, and we mentioned before Dark Territory,
Mm.
and we were telling them about it. We done an invest with them, and they couldn't
Yeah.
believe what happened, because exactly what we said. Cat ball in there, step
Yeah.
away. We opened the doors. We didn't open the doors fully, just partly, and the next minute everything went off again.
They've been stamping all around the ball as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it would not go off.
Yeah,
But as
'cause
soon as you touch it,
yeah.
it'll go off.
Mm.
Yeah.
Stamp all around it, it's not, because they're not. I know they're sensitive, them
Yeah.
balls, but not that sensitive. You've got to literally touch them. haven't
Mhm.
you?
Now I'm going to ask you. I've just noted a few little things down there. Where is your favourite? I'll ask you both. Your favourite location you've been to? Mill Street. Just kidding.
Mill Street is one of my
Yeah.
favourites. Like I've mentioned at the beginning of the
Yeah.
show, I've been here a few times and it's never disappointed. So I can't say that isn't a place that I do enjoy going back to. But I think probably number one, and I've only done it once, is Newsham Park in Liverpool.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
done that
right,
3
okay.
times. Yeah.
I've never experienced such an up and down
Very impressive.
variety of emotions there,
Mm.
and it wasn't even just in in the hospital wards that are if anybody that's been to Newsham Park, they'll see that all of the wards, the curtains and for the cubicles, they're all still there.
All the original stuff
Yeah.
as well.
All the cupboards
Yeah.
that the patients would have kept the stuff in is all still intact. I mean, you're walking round and all the curtains are closed, and as you walk round the corner, you it's almost like you're expecting something to be there.
Even the wheelchairs are still there, Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So for me, I mean, when I was there, my group that I was with, we picked up on some amazing stuff. We heard like a music box, the sound of a music box playing.
Yeah.
We picked up on that, and somebody in our group said, "Oh, I think it's an ice cream van outside." And then someone said, "Well, it's 1:30 in the morning."
bit late.
Started.
yeah. So for me, I mean, like
Sorry.
the cat balls as well is an area in Newsham Park called the Naughty Boys Corridor.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's right.
Is that the one with all the rubber doors?
All the rubber
Yeah,
doors where they would
upstairs.
put all the naughty kids and leave them in there, which is, it's sickening now.
It's
to think
horrific,
about
isn't it, when
yeah,
you think of that?
absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's the most active that I've ever seen. Cat balls and
Yeah.
trigger, motion censored things.
Yeah.
The place was just amazing for me.
It is. It's a phenomenal place. It's huge.
It is. Mm.
I mean, when we'd done the tour of it took us over an hour and a half to actually see what we could have been. So yeah, and Brian, what's your favourite location?
It's a difficult one. Are we talking about paid locations? Are we talking about
Anywhere.
Oh,
Anywhere.
I've done a few private home investigations which have been really terrifying.
Private homes as in people's houses?
People's houses,
Yeah.
family homes. The paid one I would say is Codney Castle. A couple of weeks ago I went down Wales to this farmhouse and it was terrifying. It sounded like we were being boarded in for 15 minutes.
Really?
There was me and another team member there, Lee. After I plucked up the courage to actually go out and have a look round, there was no one there. We had the Zoom H6 on. We couldn't hear talking, we couldn't hear footsteps. It just sounded like we were being boarded in for 15 minutes.
Wow.
It was a really creepy location. Needed to get out. 1:45 we left it morning.
Was that like a private location or an abandoned?
This
or?
was an abandoned time capsule in Wales, and it was probably the most terrifying it's been in quite some time. You know, it was a very scary location. I'm planning on taking rest at team there.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds good.
Glutton for punishment then, I see.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got brought up in an haunted house, so I'm used to it.
Actually, I was going to ask you, and you might as well do it now you've asked, is how did you get into the paranormal, Brian?
When we were children, me and my brother lived in an haunted house. My mum split up with my dad and we moved in with my grandma, who was a witch, and she used to do a lot of Ouija boards. As soon as she left and it left us in the house, my mum, my brother and me, this horrible spirit lived there, and it was terrible for 5 years till we moved house. Doors slamming, being dragged about, punch lights going off, not being able to sleep.
And that got you into the paranormal?
Terrified me as I got older, yes. That got me into the paranormal.
That's got to be one of the best I've heard about somebody's got into the paranormal.
Yeah. And as I've got older, I want to know more. I want to know.
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? We've all had experiences that have got us into the paranormal. And Dave, you know I was coming to you then to ask you.
Yeah, I've not got as an amazing story as Brian.
I don't think anybody has.
But it comes from childhood for me. You know, my mum was one of 11 kids, so when we used to gather at my grandparents' house, we used to have our aunties and uncles tell us ghost stories, and whether it was to try and scare us kids at the time, but I was always intrigued and wanted more. You know, there were supposed true stories about our nan and granddad's house that was apparently haunted, and I would just sit there and just say, "Can you tell me more? Can you tell me more?" And that was, for me, that was the start of the interest into ghosts and spirits. And then as I've grown older, I've just, you know, I've been able to try and branch out and investigate it more, and now I'm on course for investigating with Haunted Homes UK, which I'm more than excited about. It's going to be brilliant. Yeah,
just for the listeners, the shaking hands.
Yep.
But I mean, I've got to ask Jonathan. I'm sorry about this, but I've never asked Jonathan this, and I've got to now because I've asked you to. How did you get into the paranormal?
I had a couple of experiences as a kid. I suppose I'm weird. I watched horror movies from a very young age. Was allowed to.
Yeah.
It was in the era of videos.
VHS.
Yeah, VHS.
We used to get VHS.
Wasn't videos when he was young. It was like one of them
cinematics.
It
wasn't a cinematic, no. Yeah, but we used to get all the horror movies, under the counter cassettes and all that stuff. So it was really into it.
It's funny, isn't it? Because now I've asked you three, and it's the same with me. I was a kid and I got my first paranormal experience. Whoever you talk to, it's from the childhood.
Yeah.
And they always say, don't they, that as you're growing up, when you get to that age, becoming from a child to a man, when your hormones are everywhere before women, that's when you experience your paranormal experience, because you're going through that change in your life.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've known anyone who has said, "Oh, I was about 40 when I got into the paranormal." Everyone's had that little experience.
Yeah.
But as you know, you're all three of you, and you know, life gets in the way.
And how many people have you spoken to that you've never met before, and you tell them what love you have for the paranormal, and you do investigations and say, "Oh, do you know what? I've always wanted to do that."
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do
99%.
Yeah.
And then I've got the ones who we work with. They go, "I'm not going on one." But what's it like?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think years ago it was taboo, wasn't it? If you were a paranormal investigator, you were a loop the loop. Now, if you're a paranormal investigator, it's wow.
Yeah.
It's completely turned upside down.
It's a field of work, or should we say, an industry that is moving
It's
at some
active,
oh,
yeah.
it's growing so fast.
thriving.
It really is.
And you can't see it changing neither.
Mm.
And if you think about it, people who were into, when we were kids, paranormal, we were all into the paranormal when we were younger. It's just that you were frightened to say anything about it,
Yeah.
because, like I said, people think you were weird.
Mm.
Now it's every single day. TV's been fantastic for that, though. No matter what you say about the TV and the media, they've put it at the forefront of everything. If you think about it now, you're doing your live and your live stuff now. It's fantastic. What you can do now with it is fantastic.
Mm.
And I've got to ask, your scariest moment?
Ooh, scariest moment?
Don't say being here.
No, I wouldn't say being here.
Mine's working with
Looking
him.
at Jamie.
Which is mine's working with him.
I would probably say, again, going back to my favourite place that I've been, again, it would probably be Newsham. I never knew that I had emotions to be able to go from one emotion to another just by going in different areas and different rooms.
What, feeling them emotions of the spirits themselves?
I mean, we the place was originally an orphanage, and we did manage to communicate with children, and we established that the children we were contacting were being held back by adult spirits who didn't like the idea of them communicating with us. We used an automatic writing board and established that the children couldn't spell or write, so instead we asked them to draw shapes, and we got squares and triangles and circles.
Oh, wow.
Perfect.
It was at that same time we heard the music box, when I mentioned that we heard the music box. And then I think after we'd finished that, and all the groups within the building had a break, a friend of mine was with a group on the lower level to where we were, and he came to me and said, "Did you have a music box just for your group?" I said, "Yeah," and he said, "Yeah, we thought it was you upstairs." I said, "No." So not only our group, it was the guys that were on the next level underneath us had heard it as well.
So it's a good
bit
of confirmation.
Almost like a residual, sound. So that was quite fascinating. But hairs on my arms sticking up just even speaking about it, because And
I've got to say, Brian, where's your scariest place or scariest thing you've had?
Experience.
I'd say probably Wales. A couple of weeks ago, that farmhouse.
The boarded up windows.
I was on edge all night, very nervy. I've been to quite a few private home investigations where things have moved. I'm usually the first point of contact to go. I interview these people. I put all motion sensor cameras around the house, and then I leave and come back 3 days later, pick everything up. So I've had one or two bits there, but no, the farmhouse in Wales really nerved me. I never want to get out of somewhere, but that place I really wanted to get out fast.
And we're going to go back.
It's tempting, yeah. My scariest moments was in here, in this room.
Oh, really?
Interviewing a lad called Sean Kenner from Dark Territory. And we were interviewing him, I think it was last October, wasn't it? And he wasn't about then. It was a lot better show.
He loves you, really.
Yeah.
He's just too scared to come in on his own.
That's why I've got him in. And from that day, I mean, it was that night, wasn't it? I was here and I was interviewing him. The door came open. This room went bitterly cold to the point I saw my own breath. As you can see there, the camouflage on the windows, that started swaying. And this desk was that way round then, so I'm looking straight at it, whereas I don't have to look at it at the moment, which is great. What else happened that night? I can't. There was quite a bit happened to me, and I had to stop the interview because so much was happening. Voices in the hall that I had to go outside, thinking that Debbie and Nat had come into the building. No one there at all. Sean turned around and said, "Carry on." And like I said to other people, told the story so many times. He was at home. I was here. Went back to the interview with him, and it all happened again. Different things was going on again. About 3 o'clock in the morning, we finished, and I was gone. I just needed to get away. And I said to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
Do you want to be co-host? And I mean, I'm just building a little studio at home as well, so that you know, that's if I ever get to have to be on my own, if he's not well or he decides to go on holiday and neglect me, I can work from home, you know. And that's how Jonathan ended up coming here with me.
Yeah.
So we've all got our scariest
Yeah.
moments. I mean, you know, I know you're here tonight. You might get some good stuff here
I
tonight.
hope so, yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
And your best experience, you're going to say. I know you're going to say the one in Wales. Best
Yeah.
experience, yep.
Yeah.
And yours has got to be.
It's, Newsham Park
Yeah,
at the
so-
moment.
Scrap that question then, eh? So what? You're here tonight to do an investigation. There's only 3 of you, and obviously there's your. Is it your brother?
Yeah, he's my cousin, yeah.
Your cousin's outside. He wouldn't come in, would he?
No.
Or you wouldn't let him in.
No, I just told him to sit tight.
And he's on his own out there.
Likes playing on his phone.
Oh, so he's on his phone
The
now.
lights are
He's
on,
probably
yeah.
watching the live.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you're doing your investigations, do you go in completely blind as if you don't know nothing about the place, or do you have a little bit of a quick look at the history of it, or do you just...
I think for me personally, I don't mind looking at what other people have experienced and what their perception of the place is, but that doesn't sway me in any way, shape or form about my beliefs and my perceptions, because we don't know how many spirits are out there.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, we can look back as far as history that we have access to can allow us to look back, but that's not allowing us to go back. That's just us looking back as far as records go.
Yeah.
And you can't help it now, anyway, because like we said before, you've got multimedia, and you've got multimedia. Is that an old saying, that? Yeah. Media, you've got everything, haven't you? Social media, everything, you've got all that there. So it's out there in your face anyway, TV and everything else, so you can't really ignore a lot of stuff, especially the likes of the Here and, like you say, 30s Drive and things like that. Locations where you'd love to go that you haven't been to?
I'd like to go to Edinburgh Vaults in Scotland.
Yeah.
I'd love to go and investigate the vaults.
It's always looking tempting now, isn't it?
Very.
Because that's quite a well-known place as well. And Brian?
I'd probably like to go to Lancaster Lunatic Asylum. I know it's still standing.
On a ghost hunting side of it, or?
On a ghost hunting side of it. Yeah.
That's the thing about that, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
So that'd be perfect for me. Somewhere like that.
Yeah, I'm going to go back right to the beginning now about your group as well, because we haven't really talked a lot about your group and that. So how did Haunted Homes come about? How did you get to become, a group itself?
I think it was from my life experiences of how I was brought up. I wanted family staff, someone to reach out to. Haunted Homes is primarily, we will come to your house, we will investigate it. If you need help, we will come. If we can remove this spirit, we will remove it. If we can't, then we will talk to the spirit. And you don't have to remove everything. You just have to set boundaries and try and live together. So that's basically what Haunted Homes is. And we just do bits and pieces, don't we? But primarily, it's a private home investigation team that help families in need across the UK. It's free. That's my passion. That's what got me to make Haunted Homes, you know what I mean? That were my main aim for Haunted Homes, to do that sort of work.
I think the name Haunted Homes has a massive reflection on going back to your childhood.
Yeah.
The fact that you grew up and lived in a haunted home as a kid.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's come round in a full circle, isn't it? Which is quite
because I remember how I felt and my brother felt, and I don't want other people feeling like that. If we can help you, we will come and help you. It's not about money. It's not about people seeing as our home investigations are private. Nothing goes on any social media sites. It's just, this is what we're going to do. We're going to come, we're going to help you. If we can't help you, we're going to bring a medium from somewhere else, you know what I mean? It's not just about us. There is other teams who we can bring in as well. So we have a network of teams to help. I have a demonologist, you know what I mean? Depending what sort of activity it is, depending who we bring with us.
Right, so you've got people who are not in the group, but you can call upon if you need to.
Yeah.
And let's go back to your team. You were talking about Lee and
We've got Lee, Dave, and Amy.
Lee, Dave, and Amy.
That's another Dave. I'm Dave too. So
Yeah.
I've
So you're
told them
Dave
I'm
too?
Dave. They
Yeah.
can call me David if they want.
Amy, I met Amy. It's a private home investigation, investigating her home. And that's where I met Amy, and that's how she become part of the team. Same story as me. She went from being terrified to being interested. So now she's a big part of the team.
Right.
And we're happy to have her. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And Lee, tell us a little bit about Lee.
Lee's a family member. Lee's into the paranormal. He's a great lad. He works hard, doesn't he?
Very hard, yeah.
Does a lot of work on the websites for me. Does a lot of finding locations like Dave does. Lee's probably my best team member. He's been with me the longest so far.
Hard luck, Dave.
Well, Dave's new, isn't he?
I'm here, aren't I?
Yeah.
Just staring the possibility.
I mean, hopefully Dave's going to do a lot of the video recordings. And
Yeah, I mean, my background is in the AV industry. So I was a sound engineer for a company in Manchester up until
Right.
COVID started. So I've got a bit of history in sound engineering. I put the idea of the H6 Zoom to Brian on a previous event, and yeah, we've got some potential good plans for that Zoom recorder because it's got 4 outputs for 4 separate mics. So potentially we can
Right.
run XLR mic cable 4 times out of it, record simultaneously in 4
Yeah,
different
whereas
rooms.
I've got the Tascam.
Yeah.
That has the 2 on it.
Yeah.
So they're really good.
Yeah.
They are. I'm not just saying that.
No,
Zoom
no.
are very good as well.
Mm.
I think they're on
both
like a
very
level
similar,
par, aren't they?
aren't
The
they?
two of them. They're the top
Definitely,
ones. Yeah.
Definitely.
And the audio's on them. I mean, I've heard the Zoom ones and I've heard them. Fantastic.
Really good. I
Yeah.
mean, you put the headphones on and you can hear. When we were at East Drive, we could hear the conversations they were having next
door, yeah.
Blackmail.
We could hear them talking. Well, we couldn't really because that's how you get the keys off for the house.
No blackmail.
And then obviously there's another chap called Dave.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Dave's been with me probably about 8 months. Dave does all the urban exploring for me. He finds all the old locations. I have the good task of taking my dog and going to look at these places to see if they're any good for the team. So Dave's an essential part of the team as well. But he's more the urban exploring side. It'd be me, Dave, Lee and Amy who do the vast majority of the investigations.
Right, and do you go out weekly, monthly, or whenever you can?
I try to go out weekly. I'll be out on Sunday. I'm going back down Wales. I'm looking for another 2 locations, and then I'll go on group chat and say, "Oh my God, I found this place. We're going down here." We've got a farmhouse in Wales to go to. We've got plenty. And what else are we doing?
Yeah, we're in the process of I'm sorting a place out Derby Way, aren't we?
Yeah. We've got Tomerdon Unitarian Church in October. That's another great investigation. I did that a couple of months ago. That's down as well for October. And there is something else in November. I just can't remember what it is.
I think the good thing as well, Brian, is that now that we've expanded the team and you've got more people that can, chip in and help out with finding locations, then it's only going to be a matter of time before, we're going to be going out every week, really.
Every week.
Which is what we want.
Yeah.
This is what we want.
This is exactly what we want.
Have you got a life outside the paranormal?
I've got
No.
We've got very understanding partners, haven't we, Brian?
Yeah.
I'm very understanding. Are they not into the paranormal, your partners?
Mine's not, no.
My partner, she's into the sort of the Reiki side of things, the spiritual side. Her best friend is he's a trained Reiki healer. So she's got a keen interest in that and crystals and things, but sort of when it comes to going out to locations and things, she's sort of she draws the line with that. It's not her thing, which is fair enough. We never throw it down anybody's throat that they have to do things.
Mine's not got an interest either.
No.
Mine, Marie.
Well,
she's into the paranormal. She actually started the group with me. She's got no fear. That place you went to in Wales, all them banging and all that lot, she'd be curious of what it was, wouldn't she? She wouldn't bat an eyelid. She'd go, I'll go and check that. That's not. I'd be like, I'll see you in the car.
That's how I felt.
Well, she done a mini invest here, didn't she, Marie? And she went down into the cellars on her own, lights out, took the Tascam with her. Didn't even know. Was it the Tascam or the phone?
I think it was
she recorded 10 or 15 minutes of an invest, and come back up and said, "Yeah, I've just done that." Really? Yeah. She walked through this building with all the lights off and not even bat an eyelid. So I think I'm the only one who's got a partner who's not frightened as well. I am, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
I frighten my own shadow. So, apart from here tonight, what's your next location you're going to? Or
the next location is going to be that farmhouse in Wales.
Sounds good.
It's amazing.
You keep rubbing it. It's like salt into a wound.
I will give you that location, but just you.
Okay then.
You know, there's no problem there.
Yeah, that'd be great. That.
And then we have a private home to investigate as well. So, but first we're going to have some fun. Go to this farmhouse. Terrified Dave.
If there's any of you listeners that want to check our investigation out, they can go to the Haunted Homes Facebook page and check out the pictures we put on there. We've got our own YouTube channel, Haunted Homes Paranormal Investigation team.
Keep going.
Feel free to come and follow us on YouTube. Have a look at our page on Facebook. You can have a look at the pictures that, I mean, obviously you've been to the farmhouse before, but the pictures that you took of that farmhouse,
amazing.
It's stuck in time.
Yeah,
it's just, the pictures are amazing. It's like they've gone back into.
And I'm just going through the footage now, so I'm just starting to put the evidence together. I'm going to put bits and pieces on the sites, and the YouTube will be the full investigation.
So do you when you go home, do you go through everything you've gone through as well?
Yeah.
So not only do you go out every week, not only do you go searching for places, you spend hours searching, looking through everything.
Yeah. Not just video.
Because it does take hours, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then you zoom.
You do as well, Dave.
The Zoom recordings, you upload that onto a software on the computer, and unfortunately, if you're using the right software, you can see spikes in the audio, so you're not just sat there listening to it, and then have a look at the spikes, enhance it.
And everything goes through DaVinci Resolve then, and then you've got to cut it up, put it together, and turn it into a story, which is I mean, I think the last one took me 100 hours. Very time consuming.
That's a week.
Yeah, that's a week. Yeah.
Oh my word.
It were.
Yeah.
So we're committed.
The most committed I've ever known. But I mean, we got one here the other week. We done an investigation because we were like here doing a show. We went outside because we go, Joe, let's go and do an half an hour investigation for the show. We actually had, the bell at the far end. Yeah. We had that ring twice on us, and we actually captured it on audio.
Yeah, I mentioned that to Brian because obviously I've been here before, and I'd heard previous people had.
Well, this was late as well, so it wasn't the church at the back.
Yeah.
So. It's a shame you can't see if anybody's messaging you, because we could have answered some questions. Well, if you want to sneak up and see if anybody wants to ask, if anybody's out there, sounds like a ghost hunt, doesn't it? If you've got any questions you wanted to ask it now, and we'll put it to Dave and Brian for you.
I'll save it. I think that's it. It's finished. It's just run its schedule, so I'd have to restart it now. Restart
it. We'll carry. We'll just keep talking while Brian's restarting it. That's what this radio show's all about. No cuts. So Brian's just now on his little gimbal trying to. Well, it's not a gimbal, is it? It's the phone trying to get it back on Facebook Live. If anybody wants to, does it stay up on Facebook Live as well?
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to go and watch the video, they can watch it on.
It's Haunted Homes UK.
So it's Haunted Homes UK.
That's on Facebook. Yeah.
Scroll down on the Facebook page, and you'll see the video of this, and you'll see what's going on. And the good looking one is the one you can see. What do you mean by
reflection?
In the reflection. But yeah, I mean, while Brian's doing that, and Dave, you've done a lot of you've done it here 5 times.
Yeah.
What experiences have you had at Mill Street Barracks?
We've had a lot of experience down in the cellar. We've had some throwing in the end room.
Well, I'm not going in there tonight.
Yeah. Upstairs in the bedroomed area, we had some intelligent tapping in response twice and once.
Right.
Yes and no. We've had whistles back in the main hall. We've had footsteps. Cat balls going off. The EDI temperature changing on the EDI. We've had the EDI machine obviously picks up any tapping and it lights up, and that's been going when nobody's been moving. I think we heard a voice as well once. I'm just trying to think of which occasion it was. I had a Zoom recording in the end classroom on the ground floor, and I left that. Is it?
Oh, yeah.
So as you come in the main entrance, take a left right to the very end. In that
I actually call that the men's room.
The men's room
for a reason.
I've noticed.
Yeah, have you spotted it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anybody out there who comes to Mill Street Barracks, ask me what the men's room is, and what I'll do is I'll take you down there, and you'll see why. That doesn't sound right. That does it?
No, I was showing Brian around earlier, and I think I called it a different room.
Yeah, don't repeat it.
No, of course not. No.
So did Brian spot it? Did he?
We've got no beeps.
Yeah, I had to point it out to him, but he seen it then when I showed him. But on a previous visit here, I set up the Zoom recorder in there for the entirety of the night. So you can imagine a few days later how much going through.
You've actually done the invest twice.
Some hours.
There was some unexplained noises. That's the best way I can describe it. Just unexplained. I mean, you could quite clearly hear people walking past outside, because I'm aware that there's windows, and a public footpath outside. You could hear that. You could hear people leaving the pub and going past and having a laugh. But these were sounds that were in the room. They were within the room. So.
Well, that's good. I mean, we've had stuff like that, and we've had some good audio like that. And what you've been saying there, we can confirm what you've had. We've had the same things as what you've said. We've had some unusual. I mean, when you go down in the cellar now, you've got cameras with it, haven't you?
Oh we've got enough cameras.
That means you must have about 10 of them then.
About 9.
That wasn't a bad guess. That one of your cameras, if you put it in, the main cellar itself, showing the whole cellar. If you want to put one end and one the other end, you may capture the shadow, because it's quite well known, the shadow now. It's for some reason or other, it started to come off this shadow, hasn't it, Jonathan?
Yeah. So put a camera at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah.
Pointing down towards where the gas meter is.
Where I don't like going in.
And put one by the gas meter pointing towards the stairs. And if you don't get anything there, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
No,
really would.
I'm slightly feeling sorry for John being down there for so long waiting for us.
Where is he?
He's downstairs, sat downstairs.
Well, don't worry, we'll be finishing the show in a minute. Are we boring you or something, Dave?
No, I'm on about him.
He's on his phone. You told us that before, so you're not getting out of that one. But I know you've got to go anyway, and as you can see, I've been having a quick look at the time there. So get out. No.
We'd like you to come and join us, though. If you're free, you can come and join us downstairs if you want, down in the cellar if you're free.
That would be fantastic, because what we said we'd like to do is come down and record half an hour of your investigation, and we'll put that on the show.
Yeah,
so
by all means.
We'll record you doing the investigation, and then what we'll do is we'll bring it up, and this interview we're doing now, we'll put it at the end, so the listeners now, because we're talking now, we'll hear that in about 20 minutes time on the show, which will be interesting to see, because it's funny, because I always do that, don't I? Twist things and say, because we're pre-recorded, make people go, what, 20 minutes? How did it, we're pre-recorded. But how can people get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you?
We have a website, hauntedhomes.org. You can get in touch there. Haunted Homes UK also has a messenger. Also Haunted Homes Paranormal Investigations UK is also one of my sites, and you can also contact me there, so it's either through email or social media sites.
And if they want to watch it, they can go on YouTube.
You can go on YouTube, it's Haunted Homes UK. They can go on both social media platforms, Haunted Homes Paranormal Investigations UK and Haunted Homes UK.
TikTok.
And TikTok, of course, yes.
It's funny how
I'm
you
on
forget
TikTok,
things.
yeah.
There's that many, and we've got a list of them up there, and then we've still
Yeah.
got one we haven't put on.
Yeah.
So what I'll say then is, because your cousin's on his own and he's scared.
He probably is.
Yeah.
He probably is.
He was running away from some bees earlier.
Yeah,
wasn't he?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm running
Well,
away.
I better let you get back to your investigation anyway, hadn't I? Because
Well,
you've been
thanks
up
for
here nearly an
inviting
hour.
us,
Thank
on
you.
the show. We've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been
No,
brilliant.
it's
Yeah,
been an
really
absolute
good.
pleasure having you on.
Yeah.
So, Dave Littler and Brian Baker, both of Haunted Homes Paranormal Investigations, thank you for coming into the studio and having a good chat with us.
Thank you very
You're
much.
more than welcome. Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much, guys.
Thanks for having us.
So that was Dave and Brian who joined us in the studio here at Mill Street Barracks, and they were nice lads, weren't they?
Do we?
I mean,
Yeah,
Dave's
very
been on the
nice.
show before.
Yeah.
A while back he was on. It's nice of him to come in.
Yeah.
Nice, interesting interview there.
I know.
And we're not finished with them yet, because a little bit later on, in about 10 minutes' time, we actually joined them on a mini invest down in the cellar. He said, "Why don't you come down
Yeah,
and join
that's
us?"
right. Yeah.
And that'll be coming up in about 9 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
should be good. Now, Jonathan, you've got your phone in your hand because you found something you said you want to read out.
Yeah. I saved this the other day. Seeing it. I think it was on Facebook.
It's not a
Or
roses are red,
Instagram.
is it?
No. It's you'll like this.
Mm.
Promise you, you'll like it. Right. Okay, so here we go. So, what if when we die, the light at the end of the tunnel is the light to another hospital room? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There we are born, and the only reason you come out crying is because you remember everything from your past life. And you're crying at the fact that you died, and that everything, as you grow, you start to forget your past life and focus on the life you have now. But patches of memory stay behind, and that memory causes deja vu. Well, think about that for a second.
It's another spanner in the works, really, isn't it, when you think about that?
Do you
What
make
do you
that,
think,
Lee?
Lee?
Yeah, it's interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's difficult because what happened when there was no such thing as hospitals? Don't remember cavemen having hospitals.
There's always one, isn't there?
No, it's just
No, it's a
there.
it's a theory.
Theory. It's a good theory.
Yeah, it's a theory that's there, isn't it?
You know, it is, and it makes you think, and it did make me think for a second,
Yeah.
and then I thought to myself, well, cavemen didn't have hospitals.
Yeah. That's just an assumption that you're born in a
Yeah.
hospital.
Or is the light at the end of the tunnel your next phase of your journey into the next life?
Yeah.
Could be.
I mean, there's so many ways of thinking about things like this, and if you read about people who've have died and come back to life again and seen themselves,
Yeah.
you know, you've heard them floating above the bed in hospitals and things like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you know, where do they go? What do
know.
they see? Because if they've died and are floating over the bed, and they can see themselves on the bed and the doctors and the nurses on them, and that, what else can they see when they're?
I know. Makes you
Yeah.
think, doesn't it?
Of course, yeah. It's just a huge, wide, open conversation, really,
It
when
is,
you
isn't
think
it?
about it. And I can see the point of that. I can see
Yeah.
where they're coming from that.
Yeah.
But I'm not a believer in being reborn,
Mm.
and I can't get into my head how you can pass away and come
then
back again.
Come back again.
You know, because
Yeah.
like I understand there's like the circle of life and things like that.
Yeah.
But how can someone pass away and then return? I know there's going to be people out there saying it's just a soul and it can be, you know, it can be
Yeah.
brought back and everything else. I just can't get my head around it.
I don't know. It's something to think about, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
It's just a I don't know, different dimension.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what? The only guarantee we know is we're all going to be gone one day,
Yeah.
and we're going to be guaranteed whether we are going to be a ghost or we just don't exist anymore after this life.
Yeah.
Or you come back to life.
Mm. I don't know.
Got 'em
I
there,
don't
didn't they?
know. I really don't know. It's a good. Don't look for them quotes anymore, will you?
I'm going to be looking for more of them.
Do you know what? Yeah, do it.
Something
Because
to talk
it's
about.
something to talk about,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
And people are quite wise. You know, whoever
Yeah.
makes that quote up is a very, very clever quote.
It is. It's a different idea, isn't it, of what happens?
But my question is if you can come back to life,
Yeah. Why do you die?
why do we die? But also, why do we take all this knowledge in throughout our lifetime now
Hmm.
and then come back and don't remember it?
So you got me going now, because my theory on this is this the reason why there's very, very clever people in this world?
Like the professors and the big
Yeah.
IQs and that.
Are these people that have been reborn and they've got that much knowledge that
yeah,
they're just very, very, very clever?
could be.
Good thinking. It's something I never even thought of before, but I like the way you thought there.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's my
And
theory.
also,
It's weird.
sorry,
It's very weird.
do you believe in like these angels?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
I'm the same. People might call us crackpots, but I'm just, the guardian angels.
Yeah,
I think we've all got a guardian angel.
yeah.
We just don't acknowledge it as much as we should.
Mm. Yeah,
You know.
definitely, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I yawned then.
That's it. It's, I think there's someone there all the time,
Watching over you.
watching over you, trying to guide you.
Yeah, listen to that, Lee, when you're driving.
Yeah, I do believe that.
Yeah, I
really
do. I also believe, I mean, it's going to sound soft, but that there's different lives on this planet.
Mm.
You've got the wildlife,
Yeah,
you've got your sea life,
yeah,
you've got your land life, which is us.
yeah.
And I don't think we're the only kind of people on here. I think there's I don't know, not fairies, but something like that.
It's definitely more.
There is, yeah.
Yeah. The way I see it, how did we get here in the first place?
Have you never been told?
Oh, do you know what?
Yeah,
No,
the very first person.
How to get? How?
I-
Where did they come from?
Yeah.
If there's no people on all these other planets, why is there no one there?
Yeah. Where did the aliens come from?
Well, my theory, this is just my thought, is that we've already moved from other planets onto this planet
Yeah, I can see that.
with spaceships and rockets, and I think it was all the Egyptians.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not the
they were
Mayans.
very clever people, weren't they?
And the Mayans were as well.
Well, yeah, they were
yeah.
very, very clever.
But I mean, we're talking about them people there,
Mm.
and they were very, very clever. And
Yeah.
I'm sure some of the paintings they found had
Yeah, they found they had them
hieroglyphics.
yeah, in the pyramids, and
Yeah.
there's actually like spacemen and rockets.
Yeah,
Right.
but
So where did they come from?
Yeah.
what's interesting though, there's never anything with ghosts.
No.
You never heard of anyone
you get
saying
cases.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
When,
curse you every week.
when
Well,
you move
yeah.
on to the next life, do you forget about ghosts?
Well, who knows?
Well, as in John's saying, my theory is that when we die and we go to the next level,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a different plane altogether, which that's obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I thought about this. I think to myself, when we move to the next level, we're moving away from this earth, and our kids are growing up, and then their kids will be growing up.
Yeah.
So we've moved on to the level where now we're back with our parents, you know, they're close to our parents, and then sadly, when our kids, our family die, they join that level.
Yeah.
Our parents move to the next level in that way. So there's different levels.
Right.
Do you understand what I mean?
So
So
yeah.
we've got generations now, haven't we? We've got our, you know, we've got our children, our adults, and this and that, and we've got the different generations. And I think that's what happens when we pass away. It copies itself.
Is that when we move to another planet?
Yeah, another world. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that kind of way. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the younger ones stay on this planet until it's time for them to go.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's that generation thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they always say when when a baby's born, somebody's died, haven't they?
Yeah.
That's a saying. It's not my saying. But that's where I think it happens. We move in stages, like we do on this earth.
It's very plausible, isn't it?
Yeah. You look at your family tree and you look back at it. There are all these generations.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens. Yeah. And you will see your parents again, and you will see, you know, family.
Yeah.
How far out the generation wise, I don't know. It could be just your grandparents, your parents, and that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and the same again, and that's what I think that happens to a higher plane. Anyway, we're deep in thought there.
I like it.
I like it. Yeah, I do. I like them kind of conversations. Deep in thought there. But what we've got to do now is we've got to go back to see Dave and Brian, because we went down into the cellar with them, didn't we, to do the investigation? So let's go back and enjoy the investigation with them. Ready?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. Already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for the listeners on the show here, we're now down in the cellar. Would you believe we're in the room I do not like? There's Jonathan, there's Dave, there's John, and myself, Jamie. And John and Dave are from Haunted Homes. So we're going to give it a bit of a call out. You might hear footsteps from a very far distance. That's Brian just wandering around. So here goes. I'm near the door, so I'm okay. So I'm going to ask if there's anybody in this room with us. And if you're able to and you want to, can you come forward, please? Come and let us know you're here. Got no one to be afraid of. Can you make a sound? Give us some kind of lights. If there's someone in the room you want to make contact with, feel free to go to that person. Or if you've got a message, say something, we don't mind. Is your K2 up? Yeah.
Yeah. And how different it is. There's not a single fluctuation on it.
Well, it was before, it was just going crazy, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
We'll
he must have turned it off about 6 times to reset it, and back on and straight
in the red.
Holding it up there, it was flashing fucking high red, and down where it is now, and we're leaving it. Come on, if that was you before, you were making them lights flash, and we couldn't stop them, and now we've come back down.
You've stopped.
And there's absolutely nothing. Can you not come close to us again? Bring your energy over. Make those lights flash again like you did before, please. We've got the utmost respect for you. We just wanted to communicate and make sure that it was you that was making that happen, because we can't think of anything else that it could have been. energy closer to us, please?
I do feel really uncomfortable in here. But I always do.
The only bit of uncomfort that I feel is that doorway.
Or the one for going into that room.
I'm waiting to see out the corner of my eye something go past it.
I'm just quite happy that it's open.
And that wouldn't be unusual.
It's just a sense that you have of just...
It's like they go past and look in.
Come on, if you're here with us, come on. Come and make contact. We're going to have to go soon.
It's funny, isn't it? Because we classed them as rooms, but when this was built,
It was just
this
all
was one big,
open.
massive room.
Including that
Yeah.
one through there as well. Was that
Yeah.
all?
I think it was just one big room.
I've got my cat ball in my pocket. I've not turned it off.
I see something flashing.
Oh, something was coming out. I saw something
Sorry.
flashing.
I've just turned it on.
Might have caught in your trousers.
Possibly. Yeah. Logic.
See, that's going down as well, though, isn't it? You noticed that going down?
Yeah, it's nothing dramatic.
It's just slowly dropping,
You-
isn't it?
You just could not. You couldn't. It was going that fast up and down that before you could say the number it had gone to, it dropped again or gone to a different number.
Well,
Do you know, like in a millisecond,
Yeah.
you'd see it had
Yeah.
gone to 7 and then dropped it. It was
Yeah.
just so erratic.
So is that like an EMF or?
It's a tri-field,
That's
yeah.
fine.
So it's like an EMF, yeah.
if there's somebody in here with us now, if you want us to move, make a sound or do something to get us to move, if you do that, I promise you I'll move.
If you want us out of this space, and give us a sign, and we will go.
Can you show yourself? Come on, show us you're here. If you can hear me, I'm sure you can hear me, come forward. You've got energy here which you can use. If you can show us you're here, that would be great. If you don't want us in here, make a loud bang or make a sound, and we'll move out of this room. Come on, please come forward. Come and show us you're here.
Come towards one of the devices on the table.
Can you copy me? If you're anywhere else in this part of the building, make a sound, let us know where you are. Do you want us to come close to you?
You tapped in response to us knocking on the wall before. Can you do it again if I tap again? See if you can copy me. How different does it feel?
Really? I was just going like crazy.
It's funny, isn't it? How you come in here 1 minute and everything goes off.
Madness.
Come in later on, there's nothing.
Well, that was going crazy.
Can you make the lights flicker? I know these sound silly questions, but it's the only way we can communicate with you at this moment. Can we ask you to come forward, to show yourself? Can you come and talk to us? Let us know you're here. It's funny because every time I've said show yourself, in that doorway there to the right hand side, it's like a mist. Now whether it's my eyes I don't know, but it seems to have got more and more of it.
Are you over at that doorway just watching us? Come closer, please.
Can you see what I'm talking about? Or
There,
on the right?
that side.
Yeah.
Nice behind me.
That's alright. Rather behind you than me.
Yeah.
Are you able to throw something gently? Can you do something to show us you're here? Come on, use the energies off us. Not that I've got much left, mind you. Come on, show us you're here, please. It's like they're there, but they're not coming out.
I know, yeah.
So they're like watching from a distance.
Yeah.
It's almost like, well, we were here before.
But we're not coming back.
Yeah.
So now you've come back now. Sorry.
Are you able to tell us your name? So it's like movements or sounds.
It sounded like shuffling sounds, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like if someone had a big coat on and they just shuffled the coat.
It's like the stones on the floor. Are you moving around us? Are you be able to knock something down so we know where you are? Come on, make a sound. You can definitely hear little things. Come on, keep going, keep trying. If you're in the main corridor or any part of this, where we are now, let us know where you are. Can you move something? That's Brian wandering around,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Sounds like he's coming down to us.
Does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I hope he is, because I want him to see this.
In a rush.
Yeah, he's coming.
Yeah, it's coming down.
I think.
I can just come back over that
Yeah.
way.
Come on, I'm going to ask you if there's anybody here with us now. Anyone who could show us that you're around. Can you move something? Are you able to touch someone? Or talk to someone? We promise you we don't mean you any harm. We're here with respect. now.
Yeah, he is.
Wonder why he was running
Should we
now.
go and see if he's alright?
What we'll do is,
I did hear him talking as well.
Yeah.
Should we go and see if he's
yeah,
alright?
let's go and see. I'll keep that recorder on,
Yeah.
just in case. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go and see how Brian is, because we just heard him running and talking. And let me get out of this room. You left your camera down here, you know.
Yeah, we'll come and collect.
Okay. So if you want to follow us and talk to us, you're more than welcome to. Let me just get my torch on. I've never seen him run. I've never heard him run like that. As you can see, we're coming out of the cellar now to see what's happened upstairs. Because it was a run and a half, that was, wasn't it? Just going to see what's happened to Brian. You okay, Brian? Yeah. Okay, he was just running around doing tidying up. We thought he was a bit panicky.
Oh, you'll have to watch that. You'll have to watch that video.
That was weird, wasn't it?
He was just running around getting his stuff.
Yeah, we thought something was down because you could hear you talking.
How long ago was that?
This minute now.
Oh yeah, I've only just come up. I've just walked up where took some pictures with Fleur. So yeah.
Right, we thought you were like running for something.
Yeah, I thought you was
You're not running about? No. Having a wander, but not running.
Huh?
Oh, you want to watch that live at end in that room because that's making it
I
even.
can't
watch
believe
that.
that has done nothing right
Yeah, it's
now.
done nothing.
Yeah.
That's done nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, it's nuts.
When we first went in, and I shown you where it was that it was happening, we put it on the table and it did it for about 5 seconds, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
It
it
just
just
stopped.
went single yellow, nothing else.
It's nuts.
It's been very calm down there, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's a different atmosphere down there, Brian. I'll come
Very
down
calm.
and get your cameras.
Yeah, that's just it.
Well, what I'll usually do now, we'll just go and, do you want to have a wander around the building? We'll see what we can get while you're tidying up. Yeah?
Yeah, we'll just go and get the cameras.
Yeah.
Give us 2 seconds while we go and grab these 4 cameras.
Yeah, you're going to come with us, are you?
Well, do you want to just go with them, John? See if you pick
Yeah,
up
come on then.
anything, and we'll go and get the cameras.
Okay. We'll take a tour around the building. We haven't done a tour of the building for ages, have we? So we might as well do a tour. So we're going to go upstairs to the classroom. This is one of our favourite classrooms. Taking the listeners with us. We'll give it a little shout in here, eh? What's been moved around, Jonathan? If you turn that light off, we can give it a call out in here. Let's find somewhere to sit. Okay. I'll put the recorder on there. Close that door as well.
Close the door. Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
We're now in the top classroom. Haunted Homes is with us. I'm just going to give it another call out. I've got my breath back. Brian, all he was tidying up, wasn't he? Okay, I'm going to ask if there's anybody in here with us now. If you'd like to come forward, show us where you are, make a sound. You're able to talk to us. Ask again if there's anybody here with us now. If you'd like to come forward, shows you're here. If you want to use our energies to make yourself known, that's fine. If you can see this light here, what I'm pointing to, if you can see that and you're able to, if you talk into it, we should be able to pick up your voice even if we can't hear it ourselves on while we're doing this. If you've got a message or you want to say something, that's fine. Can you move around us? There's 3 of us in here. If you want to talk to one of us, you can do. It's very warm in this room. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't have sunlight, does it?
No. Can you copy me? Anybody else? No. Again, can you copy me? It's very warm, very, very warm where I am. If you're able to do something and you want to do something, could you do what you can do? Come on, show us you're here. Is anybody sensing anything?
No.
Yeah, it's very calm. Ask one more time in this room if you can hear me or you can see me. Or if you can see any of us, please come forward, show us you're here. We're not here to harm you, we're not here to disrespect you. I'm sure you've seen our faces here before, know that we're not going to be aggressive or judge you in any way. We just want to communicate and get to know who you are. Are you able to do that for us? Come on, please come forward. Copy me. Is that you? Any of you just tap?
No.
Did you hear it?
I heard something.
Are you able to do that again for us? Come on, if that was you, do it again, please. Again. Thank you. Can you do anything else, like move something? We know you're here with us now.
I don't know, whistling.
No. Can you whistle?
Did you hear it?
No.
So it's just me then?
Yeah, I'm trying to listen to it for. So you can hear the whistling?
Yeah.
Can you copy me again?
Yeah.
Where's it coming from?
I don't know.
Again?
Time, distance.
Would it have been outside or inside? If anybody picks up on that whistle in Jonathan's hearing, could you let us know, please?
It just sounds. It's like it's. Sounds like it's distant.
Yeah. Would the whistling come from the main hall? Do any of them whistle while they're walking around? I'm going to ask again if there's somebody here with us now. If you can hear me and you're able to do so, can you make a sound? Tell us your name. Just in a tiny red light. My left, your right, Jonathan. You know where the fire door is?
Yeah.
Where the fire door is and the door going into the other area.
Yeah.
Just in between there, just in the red light moving. Come on, show us your hair, please. Can you keep trying if you can, or if you are? Keep pushing forward. Can you copy me? Can you move something? Trying to give a call, Jonathan.
Yeah. If that's you that's whistling, can you make it louder so other people can hear? Or can you tap? You see your shadow going across the wall. Show me what you can do. Use the energies in the room. You can show yourself in light form.
Very calm. And you had loads happening earlier on. That's what you mean? John. Did you have loads happening earlier on? Yeah.
Yeah, really bad.
It seems to have gone calm, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Come on, show us what you can do. Can you tell us where you are? Too calm. You carry on walking around?
Yeah.
This is how sometimes investigations go, and it goes very calm like this, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn that light on, we don't have to come back up this way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a little wander around the building and see what we get quickly. Let's just turn this light out. You've gone. That's great.
It's empty.
Oh, there's no chairs in here. That's unusual. So now we're in like an empty part of the room between two classrooms. Row through with the classroom. First time I've ever seen this empty.
Yeah.
Why is it loads of usually chairs?
There's usually chairs and tables in here. Never seen it like this. This is the rope room. Oh, they're all in here. Is there anybody in here?
No, we did come in it because Dave's seen all that.
Ah, right, all
Table,
these.
yeah. He was looking at them.
All the hooks and everything else. God, it's a mess, isn't it? They must be doing some work. Just to give the call out. A couple of minutes call outs in here. Okay, I'm going to ask if there's anybody here with us now. Anybody in this room who wishes to talk to us? My God, them chairs there look like a figure.
Just two, don't they?
No, because you're standing here, I just
Yeah,
seen you two and went, what's that? I mean, like,
So it's doing
yeah. Made me think for a second then. From an angle, that was really creepy. I'm going to ask again if there's anybody here with us now, any children? Or the people who own this building, are you here? Could you make a sound? Can you show us if you're in this room? Please come forward, come and tell us you're here. Are you able to tell us your name? Now, Jonathan heard whistling before. Was it you? Can you try it with me? There's three of us in this room. You've got John, Jonathan, and myself, Jamie. Could you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are. Are you happy to talk to us? Please come forward. Let us know you're here. Very, very calm.
It's calm, isn't it?
So relaxed, yeah. What we'll do then is we might as well make our way back to the others. Probably packed up by now.
You want to go that way or that way or?
We'll go down the back stairs here.
Yeah.
Okay, what we're going to do now, we're going to go back to the studio and we're going to go back to me and Jonathan. So thanks for listening to the investigation. Sadly not much happened tonight on this one, but if you did hear anything,
I think he's abused it all.
yeah. If you did hear anything on the recording on this mini investigation, don't forget to let us know. We'll give out the information in a minute when we get back to the studio. So we'll see you back up there. Well, that was a nice little investigation we did with Dave and Brian there, wasn't it, Jonathan?
Yeah. Dave and Brian of Haunted Homes.
Haunted Homes, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Go and look them up. Nice people.
Yeah, absolutely lovely they are.
I really enjoyed that, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed the interview with them. That was fantastic. The
Yeah.
interview, really loved the interview with them.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll be coming back again, getting on again, because you know what we like to try and get people back on again, see how they're doing.
Yeah.
And did you enjoy that?
I certainly did.
Good. Because at least you listen to something, because you don't watch anything on YouTube, do you?
I certainly don't.
And Jonathan, how many mistakes do you make on this show?
Oh. How many times have you had to re-record tonight?
Tonight?
Yeah.
142 times. And I mean, that's
more than normal.
I know it's
It's why Lee's taking over.
What? Can I just say, this is my equipment.
Oh,
You're stuck now, aren't you, Lee Sullivan?
oh, well.
Yeah. So Lee, about this
Never
taking
mind.
over from Jonathan. Yeah, I need a proper co-presenter.
You need a proper producer.
I know, don't we just?
We haven't got a producer. No, to be honest with you, I enjoy all this. I enjoy the job.
Yeah, we have a laugh, don't we?
Yeah, of course we do. Oh, do you know what? He could be a presenter, couldn't he?
Who?
Lee.
Could he?
Can you imagine doing a paranormal investigation, paranormal show? Hi, Lee Arnold here. Yay, we're going on a paranormal investigation tonight. Yeah, we don't need YouTube. We're doing it live. That would be Lee, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And it's good night. We did a copy of him the other couple of months back, didn't we? It was good night. Yeah. This is Lee Arnold. See you next week. Good night. Maybe. I'll tell you who do you a great impersonation of you.
Yeah.
James Anthony.
James Anthony, yeah.
We'll have to get him to do it.
Yeah.
He does a good one of me as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going a bit tangent there, aren't we? You know, we're going off the scale a bit. We've got a few good things coming up. We're reformatting the show as we go along.
Yeah, we are, yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot more binaural stuff. The
That's
show's
right.
going to be a lot more in 3D, which will be good as well,
Yeah.
Lee.
Yeah.
YouTube will be sorted in a few weeks' time.
Oh yeah, like last time.
It'll be done in a few weeks' time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's that?
New uploads.
We're getting new uploads. What we're starting to do now,
Yeah.
and we'll tell the listeners as well, is we're splitting the show into two.
Right.
It's going to be one show.
Yeah.
But in the first part of the show, we're going to have the interviews, and the second part, similar to tonight, is the investigations.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do is when we put them on YouTube, is they're going to be two separate channels, separate. So you'll have the interview, and then the investigation. Because
So
some
they can
people might,
choose what they want to
yeah,
listen to then.
some people might not want to listen to the investigation, the investigation.
Yeah.
So they can come and watch the interview.
And
So we
vice
thought-
versa.
Let's do it like this, and
Yeah.
try and finish it dead on the hour, so we can split the two shows,
Yeah.
and that's what we're going to try
That'd
and
be
do.
good, that will.
Yeah,
Just make it easier as
Yeah.
well, won't it? So we can put it on actual podcasts and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just time-wise, really.
Brilliant.
Now, before I forget, Jonathan,
Yeah.
we did say at the end of that investigation then that we were going to give out our details.
Yes, we did.
And to be a little bit honest, this is the second time we've pre-recorded this section, isn't it? Because we forgot to give them out on the first pre-recorded.
You did, didn't you?
No, you did, because you're the one who does it. So what we're going to do now, that's a good thing, isn't it? If we make a mistake in the chat, we can delete. The investigations, though, they are uncut.
Yeah.
And so is their interviews. But anyway, Jonathan, do you want to give out on how people can contact us?
Yeah, you can email us on info.accessparanormal@gmail.com, or you can send us a message on Facebook or Instagram at Access Paranormal Radio Podcast. And we'll always get back to you as soon as we can.
We've also got a phone number now, as you
Yeah.
are aware. We've had it for a month or so now. And Lee, do you want to give the number out?
Yeah. The number to get in touch with us is 07828 201056.
We'll also be going on to TikTok.
We are on TikTok.
We are on TikTok.
We're not following anyone at the minute.
Well, it's in the process of getting done, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So, So
Yeah,
if you're on TikTok and you want to follow us, then we are there. You'll see the logo.
What's it called?
Access Paranormal Radio. Or is it
Radio or
Access-
radio? You can't remember what
I
it's called.
couldn't fit it all in. It wouldn't let me.
Lee, what are you doing next week? I'm looking for a new co-presenter. I say this every week.
I'm
and he
not
still
used to
says
this
no.
TikTok stuff.
No, I'm not. I've never used it before. before, but everyone's using it. So
So
if
we
it's
thought we'd
going to get us,
onto it
if it's going to get us listeners, and it's going to get us, people joining, that'd be
right,
fantastic.
we're just called Access Paranormal.
Is that it?
That's it.
Right, so that's what we're called.
Yeah.
Access Paranormal. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your stories. We said last week we're going to be doing a little bit of a competition to get somebody to join us in the studio, join in the show for the full 2 hours or 7 hours.
Yeah.
7 hours for 2 hours, and then also come on a mini investigation with us. But what we've got to say is, when we do it, remember it could be a long, good few hours.
Yeah, it's not just 2 hours.
No, not with us lot.
No.
We'll eat 2 hours before we even start the show.
I know.
But I enjoy it. It's my get out, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I know we insult each other, but I enjoy being in the studio with you too.
Yeah.
And anybody else who comes into the studio, it's great.
Yeah.
And we keep the door wide open. We put a cat ball out there, so while we're
Sure,
talking
there's
to you,
another few people here.
we're doing a mini investigation. Well, there is new ghosts here, or people here. We've had them coming through on the headphones, so if anybody hears anything, tell us.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, well, again, it's come to that part of the night or morning for us, to say goodbye.
Yeah.
To another show, and I've got to say, Lee, thanks for coming in for a second week in a row. I've really appreciated it.
Thank you.
And also, my co-host Jonathan Sullivan, thanks for being here with me.
Yeah, welcome.
Because there's nowhere I'd be in the room on my own anyway.
Mm.
And I'd like to also thank all those listeners out there who've made this show so brilliant. We've really enjoyed doing it. We enjoy the banter. We enjoy the interaction with you. And keep an eye out for the live stuff.
Yeah.
So, from Jonathan, Lee, and myself, Jamie, we'll see you next week. So, good night from Access Paranormal Radio Podcast.